We are here again on a topic on vocabulary development. That is language register. The words we use when we talk about a particular profession. Here we are concerned with mass media and journalism. Mass media, this is plural, singular is medium. That is one single area. So here now the mass media is concerned with those who provide information and news for those and the organizations. In this case now, it is the people and the radio house, the television house, or even newspapers. So the people that work with these organizations put together, we refer to them as mass media. Then for journalism, we are concerned with those who are involved with the job of writing news reports for newspapers, magazines, then television and radio. Don't get confused with this again, because when we talk of news reports, you listen to news, you hear people say so person reporting from such a place. So such people are under, or what they are doing is in journalism. So you find out that at least most of us today pay much attention to radio reading. We don't go, listening to radio programs and television, or watching the television without paying much attention to the paper. So you find out that when you have your radio now and you want to listen, what you do is to tune in. You tune in to any station you want. You can go to international stations or the local ones, looking for information or be entertained. Then we have what we call news bulletin. Usually that is when news is cast. In that case, you may have the summary of news of everything that's happened in the day in the evening. That is what we refer to as the evening news bulletin. Then people who listen to the radio are known as the audience, or those who watch television. They are also the audience. Remember, we will still come back to sports. For instance, the group of people that watch sports are known as spectators. So here, for television and radio, you have audience. Then we have in the radio program or television people who are involved with so many activities. You have the announcer, and that is to tell you that the voice you hear on radio is not just the voice as such, because the person is using microphone. So somebody who is yet to appear for the first time, that's the person we refer to as novice. Is not very familiar with the program, might be afraid. So there might not be self-confidence that he will not speak clearly into the microphone. But when he learns everything, he will relax, and you hear them now playing and talking, and you will be entertained and enjoy what they are saying. You are familiar with the word DJ. So the full meaning is disc jockey. So the plural form, disc jockeys. These people are concerned with sending, playing message, records and other things. So when you are part of them, you can now send a request. Maybe some of them are involved with the request program you do in the radio or even television. Then we refer to radio as transistor radios. That's the portable radio you use to listen to news and things like that. Then, for you to get a particular station, we talk of wave bands. The area where we now help you, the area we help you to pick whatever program. That's why you may be here, you get radio from Abia, radio broadcast from Abia, Imo, Enugu State, and so on. Because this area will help you to get information from whichever station you can now locate. So just as we said earlier, to get the international news, you can use what we call satellites. I know all of you are familiar with this. Then, when the program is going on, at that particular moment and you're watching it, we say that it is live on television. It can also be live on radio, but in that of radio you listen while you watch the television. Then the person that reads news is known as the newscaster. And then the news is usually broadcast. Please, I want to point out something here. Broadcast is broadcast. It doesn't have past. So you don't say broadcasted. It's broadcast. The news was broadcast yesterday, not was broadcasted. So take note of that. Then we talk of radio network. Unless you listen to television, they'll tell you that this is a Nigerian television network program. That means that they've connected all their radio stations or television stations for that particular program. That's why it is network. Then we also have channels. That is different places you try. That's why you talk of Radio Nigeria, television channel 50, channel this of this particular state or this particular station. Then newscast now, that is the act of reading out the news, is the program done either on television or radio. Notice I say on television or radio. Then you have career in journalism. At least we know that people go to university now to read mass communication and journalism as a course. So when the person comes out now, all things being equal, the person is employed to work either for a newspaper or a radio house or television. So we also have an aspect of journalism that is known as investigative journalism. This journalist investigates or examines, invest to find out the truth. Recently, there's a woman that is always on the net news trying to give information about things, particularly the Aso Rock. She came up with the story sometime that somebody died in Aso Rock and refused to mention the name. So even she's referred as controversial investigative journalist. Give me somebody who, maybe if you are familiar with this thing, you know what I mean. Then as you listen to news again, you hear people, they say this is so person reporting from, or reporting from Lagos, reporting from so place. So such person now does the news reporting and it can be seen as a reporter. Then normally we have what we call a journal. This is a series of magazines produced for professional people or those with a particular interest. For instance, you have medical journals for journalists. You have one for Association of English Teachers in Polytechnics and Colleges of Education. So they join now and produce journals to enhance their profession. Then the broadcaster is the person you hear his or her voice on radio or television. Then among these broadcasters, you normally have duty announcer or anchor on duty. That is the person that is there on the radio telling you the program they have for the day. Then you also have the program presenter. In the television network, you have kiddies time. Somebody is always there to present that particular program. So you refer to that person as program presenter. Then the word press has two functions. It can serve as the paper, the magazine, the report they have, or it can as well serve as the people that work for these organizations. So I have sentences to illustrate the use of this press to mean the same thing. So to judge from the press, the concert was a great success. So now that was, what this means is the newspaper report, the report from the press. So in this case, the press there refers to both newspaper, television, all these bodies that now report news. Then, if I now say, they are fighting for the freedom of the press. The press this time around refers to workers, that they need to be free. You hear the freedom of the press and things like that. So that is what we mean. We are stopping here for today. Next time, we continue on press. This time, we pay special attention to newspapers. Everything about paper, the publication, and how the terms involved with newspaper publication. Thank you.